Hello guys, with that video we'll start looking at design patterns. Very important topic for every software developer. Why? Because design patterns generally are a common way to solve common problems. And every single interview I went here in Austria to contained a question about design patterns. Usually it was formulated like, tell us about a couple of your favorite design patterns and describe how they're working. So basically today we'll start with very simple but very useful pattern, abstract factory. And here I'm on Wikipedia, and let's quickly read what means the abstract factory pattern. It provides a way to encapsulate a group of individual factories that have a common theme without specifying their concrete classes. In normal usage, the client software creates a concrete implementation of the abstract factory and then uses the generic interface of the factory to create the concrete objects that are part of the theme. Okay, so that who wants can easily read everything about that, but I just want to look quickly at class diagram, or even better UML class diagram. So as we can see, we have some abstract factory, some interface, and then concrete implementations of factories. Then we have interface for product, which those factory create, and then some concrete products. And client uses our factory on abstraction level, which is very good on a modern software development because of inversion of controls and dependency injection. So let's go to code directly and check how it works. So let's imagine we have some movie studio which produces movies. And we have two branches of that movie studios, two factories. One of them produces horror movies and second one action movies. So let's start from creating interface. Movie factory. And everything what it can do, the factory, it can create movie. Produce, produce, okay, create movie. And then we have two factories. One factory can produce horror movies, so it's horror factory. Movie factory, and I don't have here my ReSharper installed, but whatever. So this factory will produce some horror movie. And second factory, let's copy that, will produce action movies, action factory. So then we need some abstraction on level of product. In our case, that's a movie. So we'll create the interface iMovie. And obviously that every movie has at least some title. Some title. Let's make it property. And we will have two type of movies, obviously. One is horror movie. And the second one, okay, let's make constructor, some title. Something like that. The second product will be, as you might already have guessed, action movie. Yeah, nothing fancy. Action movie. So our horror factory will have a private property of iMovie. Yeah, movie. And obviously that it will create new horror movie. Yeah, it will produce new horror movies. And yeah, let's also make here an interface also title, so we can pass it to the movie. Yeah. And our action factory will obviously produce new action movie. Like that. Okay. Like that. So now we have full set of abstractions. We have abstraction level of factory, and we have abstraction on level of movie. So now our client can depend on abstraction, and that's very good because we can easily inject that dependency with some injection dependency, with a dependency injection component like afterfuck or an inject, whatever name it. So it means that we will have, and our client will have an instance of a factory, movie factory, and here let's imagine we have some logic. Let's say, I don't know what. So depending on concrete situation, you might produce different type of products. So in our case, we decided to produce a horror movie. Yeah, so it means that we'll create instance of concrete factory, and then we will create that movie. Even better to do like that, to show you dependency, that we have different method, like create movie here, or show movie. Yeah, better show movie. And it will depend also on abstraction on movie. So factory, our abstraction we'll create some movie, and we need a title, Batman versus Godzilla, yeah, would be a super. Okay, of course I did a mistake. So of course create movie should return movie, obviously. Like that. Okay, perfect. And now we just want to release that movie. And here we have some consumer. In our case it's just method, but it can be whatever, another logic which also depends on abstraction. So everything what we will do, it will take that movie and show a title and say only today in our cinema, and movie title, yeah, like that. So guys, as you might guess, what will happen now? Let's build. Yeah, my PC is not okay. Only today in our cinema, Batman versus Godzilla. So what is good in that pattern? Very good that it makes all dependency on level of abstractions, high level abstractions. So we produce movies, we don't care about type of movie, we don't care about how it was produced. Most important that it was created, and now we are dependent on abstraction, and we can work with that product in an abstract way, not worrying about a way how it was created. Of course, that was very simple example, but let's imagine some real world scenario, and just immediately what comes from top of my mind is that, for example, implementation of your database provider, you might have initially connection provider to SQL server, then maybe you might have changed your mind and then created a provider for Oracle. So if you will implement from beginning, if your implementation from beginning will depend on abstraction, then you will not need to change too much in your code. You will just create new implementation, yeah, for Oracle database, and all your other code base will not be aware of the change at all. It was working before and it will work afterwards, only because it depends on abstraction, let's say database provider, which you will create from beginning. That's why this pattern is very simple but very useful. I encourage you guys to read about that, who is new to the topic of design patterns. And yeah, we will see each other on the next video about design patterns. See you, bye.